So Chelsea decided that they were going to dominate, not only dominate, crash, also shock, put some shock waves through Barcelona, who had just returned to Camp Nou. So prior to this game, a lot was being said about who would be king. Was it going to be the man, William Esteval, or was it going to be Yamal? At the end of the day, it turned out that Esteval found a way to make his name count amongst the stars. And Yamal was still resting on old laurels. But how did it go down? Let me break it down to you. A couple of things happened here, and I feel, personally, Barcelona were not ready for the game. Hear me out. The lineup shocked Barcelona to the core. Barcelona were never expecting Pedro Neto to be playing that position. Oh yes, they were never expecting Pedro Neto to be playing that position. In addition to that, they were also a bit shocked with how Enzo Fernandez was deployed. Now, let me cut to the chase and bring you actually how it happened. Now, when the game started, one of the things that really caught my eye was, at least I predicted that the team, Chelsea, they were going to be sitting in a mid-block situation. And not only in a mid-block situation, but making it tight enough so that it's difficult for Barcelona to play through them. Now, in this particular sequence here, you see Yamal being watched by the man Cucurella. We'll get into their battles much later. Also, you see Chelsea's back line in here. And Malo Gusto, for some surprising reason, had one of the best games he has had in a Chelsea shirt versus Barcelona, which was actually shocking because Chelsea fans really have a question around this gentleman. Now, look at the current positioning of the trio midfield of the team Chelsea. Chelsea normally like to play double tens, but in this particular game, reverted from a double 10 situation to a single 10 because they wanted numbers in midfield to help stop the flow of Barcelona. And in this case, you can see even Reece James is the person who is most furthest of the three midfielders in there. Now, the press was on. Chelsea made it difficult for Barcelona to actually sip the ball through them and go through them. I'll talk about some of the really wasteful players on the day for Barcelona much later. Now, let's move it along. Chelsea, aside preventing Barcelona from playing through them and creating and causing havoc, did one thing really interesting. Anytime they chose to play from the back, this is what they chose to do. So, normally you would get Fofana getting out of space, you get Malo Gusto pushing upward, Esteval pushing way beyond that, and you have Cucurella here. What happens is when the ball gets to this part, that means everyone is going to that side of the pitch. This is Chalobah. Chalobah waits for the man, as is being pointed out here by Moise Caicedo, gets the ball to Cucurella. Reason why you need to get the ball to Cucurella is very simple. The man Yamal does not track back, does not do any form of attacking. He does not tackle, nothing of that sort. So he gets the ball to Cucurella. Cucurella now brings that ball to Moise Caicedo, and all of a sudden you've already counted a lot of players out of the picture, and Chelsea has the move on to the team Barcelona and gets to break their midfield. Another way this particular sequence was helping them create a lot of chances is they were actually getting into good positions as a result of beating this first line of press. They automatically get themselves into such situations. So the ball gets trickled in through midfield. Malo Gusto hands this ball to the man Esteval, and all of a sudden, it's now 3-on-3. Forget everyone here. It's now 3-on-3 beyond the line. This is pacey gentleman Esteval. This is a pacey Pedro Neto. This is a pacey Garnacho who has gone back to dye his hair to regular settings. And that means that Chelsea in this situation has a man on Barcelona. If you understand what I mean by that, because Chelsea's players have got pace more than the backline of this special setup of Barcelona. Now, aside this whole sequence, Chelsea also tried to beat the high line from deep. So in this sequence, you have the man here, that is the man Fernandez. He came in, collected the ball from deep from the man Chalobah, turned and whipped that ball. Ball gets whipped in this direction. Player is ready to run. Wonderful. He is looking at Malo Gusto. Nice one there. Now, Jong does not know Esteval is here. Special one. Jong does not know Esteval is here. Araujo is pointing out. No problem. Now, Garcia has got himself busy as well. Jules Koundé is busy. But Esteval is Literally free. So what happens? The ball comes in from deep, gets into this part, Estevao is on. And this actually leads to one of the most glorious chances of the game that Pedro Neto blasts over the top of the bar. Now, let's look at some similarities between what happened in this game and the game that Chelsea beat Paris Saint-Germain in the United States to clinch onto their FIFA World Cup trophy for clubs. Yeah, I keep putting it in inverted commas because I call that trophy the Mickey Mouse trophy with the key. I don't know why people normally take offense to it, but hey, we move along. It's a very beautiful trophy. It's a wonderful trophy. Now let's look at some similarities between the goals. Now, Chelsea goes short from the corner. It looks like Barcelona had not gotten the memo that set pieces now are a thing. They are a thing. You've got to defend against them. If you're not going to use them, you've got to find a way to defend against them. Chelsea are the second highest scoring team in England after Arsenal when it comes to set pieces. They know how to score from set pieces. Chelsea go short here. Now, ball from Estevao to Garnacho. You see Cucurella is not offside. He's calling for the ball. Who is getting close to Cucurella? Should the ball get to Cucurella? No one. Ball gets to Cucurella. Cucurella runs towards the byline. He enters the box. You touch him. It's a penalty. He casts that ball back. There is a melee in here. And then certainly Jules Koundé ends up, giving a back pass through the legs of his fellow defender into the goalpost, making a 1-0. Let's look at the similarities of that and one sequence that happened at the FIFA Club World Cup. So this happened at the FIFA Club World Cup. So there is a taker of the ball that at that time was the man, Madueke, Noni Madueke here. He takes the ball, he gives it to Cole Palmer. Now there is that triangle again formed here, which I'll show you much later. You see the man, Moise Caicedo, with his marks. At that time, he had a broken nose, so he had issues to deal with. And subsequently, was the similar thing that happened here. They take a shot, bring you in, find space in here, move the ball into such spaces and sequence. So they find the direct pass or link, and then they find that man moving here. So the taker has moved, and they've literally pushed everybody slightly in front. Forget him being offside here because he would literally not actually play anything in this particular sequence. It's all attention here, and watch these players. They would connect and try to connect with the ball. Now let's check out more of the things that happened. It's not all Chelsea that happened in the game. Chelsea were also doing something to stop the man from Barcelona who was really a threat prior to this game. But in this game, he sort of did not show up. I'm talking about the man Yamal. Yamal was constantly being shown onto the outside, and that is the major way Cucurella dealt with Yamal. So constantly, Yamal getting to Cucurella wanted to come into Cucurella's right-hand side. Let me tell you why Yamal is a great player. Yamal is a great player because he is a left-footed player, but he plays on the right-hand side. Anytime he gets onto the right-hand side with his left foot, what does he do? He cuts onto the left foot, brings it onto the right-hand side of the defender. The defender is a left lateral or is a left back. Left backs are not going to be playing the ball with their right leg. They are always going to be focused on their left leg. So you bring them onto their weaker foot and then you destroy them. But constantly, Cucurella was getting help from Garnacho and sometimes Moise Caicedo to prevent the man Yamal from going onto the inside to create the opportunities that he normally does for Barcelona. So constantly, he was being pushed onto the outside. And constantly, the man Cucurella was pocketing Yamal. That is it. It was that simple. Too predictable. Chelsea dealt with it. Now, let's move it along. Aside that, there were some times that Yamal actually created some chances. He actually had a shot on target as well. But this was one of such chances that he created for the man Ferran Torres to deal with. So, he's outside. This is a portion where Chelsea would actually deal with the ball because they have made a man here. They are looking at him. No one is getting close to him because he can't actually shoot from here and score. The only thing he can do from here is bend in an in-swinger and expect someone to connect with the ball. Now, hear this. If Ferran Torres is already at pace, this ball will be easy for him to get into the pole. But now to generate the pace, to generate the power, and convert this ball into a goal makes it an extra situation. And constantly, there was the man, Chalobah, who is already some yards ahead of him, who's definitely going to get there before the man Ferran Torres. irrespective of how fast he is. And that is how that particular attack fizzled out. But he was constantly left to kick the ball in from afar, not really anywhere here to affect play. The only time he was able to get into the D to try and affect play was this chance here where he shot the ball, and the man, Chelsea fans want to give a lot of credit to the man, Sanchez. He caught that ball. So that was it for Yamal. Yamal really was kept in the pocket of Cucurella for the entirety of his time on the pitch. That's what happened to Yamal. Now let's look at how Chelsea got their second goal. Couple of things happened here to get Esteval into this situation. So initially, ball came out. Chelsea did what they were doing all game, pressed it, got it at this point in time. Santos getting the ball, giving it to Esteval. Esteval giving it to Reece James. Reece James releasing the ball back to Esteval. Esteval now takes it on. Remember last week when we dealt about Esteval and spoke about where he was taking the ball through? This was the angle we kept going towards. He kept on coming into the inside channel and causing havoc. Exactly same thing here. He comes into the inside channel, goes on his weaker foot, and then hits the roof of the net. And all of a sudden, it's 2-0 in favor of Chelsea. Third goal is a very similar thing. Listen, you look at this and you think that it is the man who is going to score. But unfortunately, he looks offside. But the ball comes through, sips through, high line again, broken through from the shoulder of the last man. Simple way to break a high line. Always be on the shoulder of the last man, and you are looking at the line and you are timing your run. And that's exactly what happens here. Delap is currently offside. Ball comes to him. He resets play because now he's on the ball. The line has been broken. Once the ball is ahead of Delap, when the ball is cut back to Delap, please, it's onside. Hence, the goal gets to stand. And that is how Chelsea managed to find a way to break down the ruthlessness of Barcelona. Hansi Flick's team had been on a 24-game consecutive scoring spree in the Champions League till they met Chelsea. And Chelsea's Enzo Maresca fashioned out a system to put a stop to that. Hansi Flick's team, the entirety of his managerial career in the Champions League, constantly always do get a goal till they met Enzo Maresca's Chelsea. Chelsea are FIFA Club World Champions. They have beaten more than they can chew by beating PSG, who are the UCL champions, French champions. But they failed when they came up against Bayern Munich, who are the German champions, but have gone ahead to beat the Spanish champions. Next, they will try it when they come up against the Italian champions. Anyways, that's as far as that is concerned. And this is how Chelsea broke down the almighty Barcelona, who just made a return to Camp Nou.